I'm Chris Neesmith, and I'm going to give you an instructional video on how to terminate coaxial cable. I'm qualified to teach this course, or this class, because I'm an electronics technician for the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and most of my job relates to terminating coaxial cable for our security surveillance system. But you can also use coaxial cable for your homes, TV, satellite, and also RCA cables also use coaxial cable. I'm going to show you some that I've already made. This one has one end has a BNC connector, one end has a F connector. The cable that I have here is RG59. It's rated a little bit less on its distance compared to RG6. It's a little bit smaller, but it will work for basically anything you need to use it for. Now I'm going to show you the equipment that I use. First, I start out with the snips, so you can trim up the cable as needed. Then I have my strippers that are already measured out and trim up the cables as far as you need. Then I have an F connector crimper. Got a BNC connector crimper. I don't have the RCA attachment on this one, but you could terminate RCA cables with it too. Now I'm going to show you how to prepare cable and then terminate it. This cable has it's called a Siamese cable. Has an extra cable for power, so I trim that back. Now I strip it. Just go around a couple times. You'll feel the wire. This will pull off. The second part will pull off. Then this cable has a shield. You want to make sure the shield is away from the center conductor, because if it touches the center conductor, it will make the cable not work like it's supposed to, and for a home TV it can cause a lot of static in the lines that you see in the cable. Get my connector out. BNC. I like to cheat with these. I like to push out the little center pin. However you can get it out. Some of them don't let you push it out, but this kind does. That's why I like to get these. You put the center pin on top of the center conductor, and then basically it's like threading a needle. You line up the holes, push it in. You make sure it's kind of flush with it, on there pretty good. Then you get your BNC crimper, put the cable in its little grooves, push it down, squeeze. Then you pull on the cable, make sure it doesn't come off. Now I'll show you how to do an F connector, same concept. Separate the wires. You strip it. Line it up. Pull off the little jackets. Now these are a lot easier. It doesn't have a center pin or anything like that. It uses this center conductor. Still like threading a needle though. Push it in. There's a little white part, the little jacket that separates the center conductor from the shield, and you want to make sure that's kind of flush with that inner piece. Once it's flush, you get your F connector crimper, push it in, squeeze it, tug on it, and then I typically like to trim just a little bit off with the center conductor so it's not quite, it's a little over being flush. It makes a better connection. And if you do not have this equipment like the strippers, well, you still have to have the crimpers and everything like that. But the strippers, they have two blades in them. If you look at this, it has a little groove for the center pin. Then back here it has another blade, and it already has it pre-measured for what you're going to strip. But if you don't have one of these, which they're only like $5, I'd recommend going to get one if you want to strip. Typically, you would use a knife at about 1/4 of an inch. You would cut it down for the center conductor, and then you would do another 1/4 inch, and you could feel the shield wire. You don't want to cut the shield wire, but you just graze it and then you peel it all off, and you have to make sure that the shield is not touching the center conductor. Now, if you're wiring up a security camera, you have to use a power supply. That's what I have right here. These are some cameras that I have already installed. And as far as everything goes, I mean, these are RCA cables. It uses a much smaller shield and cable, but that is how you strip coaxial cable. And if you want to take another look at my tools, these are the main 3 tools that you will need: the coaxial stripper, the the F connector crimper, and then you have a BNC crimper, which this one actually you can have attachments for it to terminate your F connector, your RCA connector, and your BNC connector. And that tool right there is about $45. And that is how you terminate coaxial cable. Thank you for your time.